Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have something a little different. The most common question we get asked is usually something to do with the base mods in our videos. Things like what ENB are we using, why does the grass look like that, and what character mods are you using. The list goes on and on. While in this video we'll briefly cover each mod and explain why we use them. We want our videos to look as close to the vanilla game as possible, just so most of the focus can be put into the actual mod we're spotlighting. For that reason we wanted an ENB that wasn't too overpowering with huge amounts of bloom or extra effects. So we used a realistic performance version of Project ENB, which as you can see is extremely tame compared to a lot of the ENB presets you can find on the Nexus. We also complement it with Climate of Tamriel and enhanced lights and effects, which the ENB was designed to go with. As most of you know, Climate of Tamriel adds dozens of new weather types, and enhanced lights and effects offers more realistic lighting, especially in interiors. The overall effect turns it from something like this in the vanilla game, to something a little more bright and pleasant to look at. For the environment we use 5 different mods. For our water we use Pure Waters, which you can immediately notice and is a massive improvement over vanilla. Another good option is Realistic Water 2 or Water, but it depends on what you like. For our rocks we use AOF Detailed Mountains, which makes them look more crisp and less like plastic. For our grass and flora we use 2 mods. The first is Tamriel Reloaded Grasses, which adds over 100 new types of plants and grasses. It also makes grass more dense, but then we overwrite it with unique grasses and ground covers, which also offers even more variety across Skyrim's landscape. These are quite performance intensive, but if you can afford it then it's definitely worth having a landscape mod installed. As you can see, it can have just as much of an effect as a water mod. These 2 in particular help keep things bright and colourful, which complements the ENB. For our trees we don't actually use anything specific, but we have certain textures from the Langleys Workshop, and the tree barks are one of them. We're also using the official high-res texture packs too. For our character we only use 2 mods. One is the Emidian Born Book of Silence, which retextures all of the main armors and weapons. With the mod they're extremely detailed and darker compared to vanilla, and we like it a lot. The other mod is SkySight Skins, which is a mod we've covered. It basically just retextures the skin for the humanoid races, while still staying in line with the vanilla design. That's pretty much everything for our visual mods. As you can see now from the before and afters, it doesn't take a lot of mods to make a big difference. However, as with most visual mods, they come at a huge cost for performance. We drop anywhere from 10 to 30 frames per second depending on the area, and for some that's just not a drop they can take. We'll include the PC specs in the description below, just to give you something to compare to your own system. Most of the mods we're using also come with performance versions, so you might be able to save a few frames there too. There's still a few other mods that we use in our videos. Our UI mods include Sky UI and the Immersive HUD. Why we use Sky UI is pretty obvious, and the iHUD is handy for manipulating parts of the UI so it looks better for the video. We also use the enhanced camera, which lets us look down at our character's body, or play certain first person animations, like when riding a horse or crafting. We also use the customizable camera, which lets us tweak the camera in various ways, like the positioning, zoom and more. And finally, to end the videos we use FNIS. If you've ever installed an animation mod then you're probably familiar with FNIS. But for anyone that hasn't, it's basically a framework that lets you set up and replace certain animations. As you can probably guess, we use this to set up the dances at the end of our videos. If you're interested in more of FNIS, then go for covered it in a much longer video, which we'll link down below. And if you're interested in a more detailed look at any of today's mods, then be sure to check the description for direct links to videos, mod pages and more. And as always, be sure to leave an endorsement on any mod you enjoy, and thanks for watching.